Namaste, yogis. This is Coco here. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we are going to introduce a short class. And this short class, we are going to focus on the beginning of how to breathe properly. So as we all know, breathing plays a very important part of yoga practice. Scientifically, it has been proved that breathing can balance the busy activities in the brain. Breathing can calm the mind. So how do we practice our breath properly? Today we'll be using Ujjayi breath, as it also refers to oceanic breath or victorious breath. We'll be focusing on 10 seconds for each round. 10 seconds for each round. And we'll be following with Yin postures as the breath has been introduced. So before we begin, please just find yourself in a safe space that feels cozy in your sitting. Either cross your legs or finding your heels, resting comfortably in front of each other. Noticing your knees spread wide to the side. Perhaps have a blanket or cushion to sit under your sit bone. Once you find a cozy space, a little side to side, finding that balance under your sit bone, beautiful. And from here, we'll turn the palms up, resting gently on top of the laps. Noticing your shoulders, if you can draw the shoulders just gently towards the ears. Exhale, releasing back and down. And taking a couple of rounds, if you feel there's any heaviness, straining or stress, taking this moment here just to roll the shoulders up and down. Wonderful. And gently release as you exhale fully. And now start to close down the eyes for a moment. As we're starting to shut down the eyes, paying attention to that one pointness in between the eyebrows. Visualizing as light, as a candle flame, right in between the eyebrow center. Sensing its own place for the warmth, for the concentration. And start to relax into the facial muscles from the eyebrows to the eyes, nose to the lips, cheekbones, jaw fully relaxed. Shoulder drawing back and down and lengthening the back of your spine. Sit bone grounding to connect with your earth deeper and finding the root that you're sitting under. A sense of comfort, sense of connection. Noting this moment here with your palms face up. How are your palms feeling at this moment with the support, with the laps, with your knees? And from here, we're starting to noticing the natural breath that's circulating in the lungs, in your belly. Perhaps noticing the one point at the navel center. When the breath expanding as you inhale, when the breath contracting as you exhale. Just allow a moment here to pause. A moment here to pause and drop in to the internal landscape. The internal landscape of your navel, your belly, your breath. And we'll begin to practice Ujjayi breathing. Each cycle is 10 counts. So I'll be instructing you here to follow through. Once you're ready, we'll take a deep breath in for a count of 4. From the belly rising, keep inhaling towards the center of your chest, moving upward towards your chin, and eventually to the top of your crown. Pause for 1 count. Exhale, releasing your breath out all the way downward towards your navel center for a count of 4. And again, pause for 1 count. Wonderful. Second cycle here, inhale for 4, moving outward with your breath for 3, 2, 1. Eventually pause for 1 second. And exhale, releasing your breath out. 4, 3, 2, 1. And pause for 1 second. One more cycle of the deep breathing here. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause for 1 count. Exhale, releasing your breath out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause for 1 count. Wonderful. Continuing here to practice at your own space, at your own time. Just practicing 3 more rounds here. As you inhale here for 4 counts, pause as you reach to the top. Exhale for 4 counts again, and pause for the final round. Again, just taking your time, there's no rush. Finding your deep breathing here, combining with your Ujjayi breath. And see if you can allow your lips here to gently close if you haven't already. Allow the breath here to inhale through the nostril and exhale, constrict your throat and the sound of the ocean breath to come out through the throat sound. Continuing here for a couple more cycles to find your rhythm of your breath. Scientifically saying that if we can allow our breath to be 10 seconds long, which is about 6 per minute, we will get the same benefit of calming breath, of calming mind, and that can turn on our parasympathetic system, the rest and digest system, to activate that system. Allow one more round here with your Ujjayi breathing in your own count. Noticing 10 counts in 1 round. For inhalation, pause. For exhalation, and pause again. Wonderful. It's time to releasing your final breath here if you haven't already. For those of you already returned, finding your space in sitting in stillness. Eyes softly close, palms turns up. Noticing your brain activity at this moment, without judging, simply observing if the breath is slightly more calmer, if the thoughts stops for a second. Wonderful. Gently returning back again to our physical body and opening the eyes. So for the next half an hour here, we'll be practicing the Yin posture here to turn on again the parasympathetic system, which refers to rest and digest. So once this system has turned on, we are able to allow the moment to be as it is, allow to breathe evenly, and allow the busy mind to have a space to pause. So I'd like to cultivate the breath that we just practiced, the 10 counts per cycle, into the Yin Yoga practice today. Okay, so today we'll start from sitting. And I'd like you to find a blanket here if you haven't already, or a cushion to sit under. And we're going to open the legs wide to a wide angle leg position. Beautiful. Once you're finding the open leg, just make sure that the knees here are not straining, maybe slightly bended, or maybe place 2 blankets underneath here to support you. Otherwise, if you're very flexible, just allow your knees here to drop, heels to drop. Good. And then from here, we're going to reach your both arms up, lengthening the spine here. On your exhalation, reaching your right arm all the way to the right leg, holding onto your toe. So I'm going to back off a little bit more so we can see where I am with my legs. Beautiful. So with your right hand holding onto your right heel, and keep your root of your seat really grounded. If today you're not touching the toes, not the heel, absolutely fine. Come up a little bit more onto your right knee. Now with your left hand, either supporting here onto your hip, or maybe you can start to reaching up high. And we'll start to bending forward to the right side. Now you're twisting here, gazing slightly forward or upward towards the ceiling. Maybe you can using your right elbow here to support you onto the right ear. Or maybe have a bolster. As you have a bolster at home or blanket or perhaps a chair cushion, it's very handy. You can simply just place on top of your thigh bones and have that supportive posture here to support you into your practice. Now keep your left arm either in the air or maybe next to your hip bone to support you. Now we're going to gently turning your left shoulder, opening towards the ceiling a bit more as you gaze up. Wonderful. And then from here you should find a nice gentle twist, opening the heart center. And now returning your hands to a comfortable position. Either have your eyes gently closed or softening your eyes. And we're practicing again with Ujjayi breathing here, the ocean breath. Perhaps finding your own count of 4 as you inhale, pause for 1 second. Your own count of 4 as you exhale, and pause for 1 second. Just allowing a few more rounds here. Into the side bending, grounding and rooting in your seat, and starting to focusing on your Ujjayi breath. Taking one final breath here, final cycle, to find that 10 seconds each cycle of this practice in Ujjayi breathing exercise. Beautiful. Gently releasing your posture here now, releasing the arms and returning to your long spine. If you have bolster or cushion, just remove to one side. And we'll come to the other side here, grounding your sit bone, reaching your both arms up high. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, reaching your left hand forward, finding either your toes, your heel. Just make sure your right arm here is not straining, either opening towards the sky or maybe extended forward. Good. Again, you have a couple options here. You can bend your left elbow onto a bolster or onto your knee. Right hand either reaching upward or maybe place your right hand next to your right hip. And I'd like you to pause here for a moment to roll your sit bone down while you turn your right shoulder towards the ceiling a bit more. So the more you open the opposite side of your shoulder, the more open of the heart that will be. And you should find that transition as you open and gaze or close down the eyes. Beautiful. As we're practicing this yin-like postures, I'd like you to again returning to the focus of your ocean breath. Full count of inhalation and pause. Full count of exhalation and pause. This is one complex cycle. We're practicing 2 more rounds here while we're pausing here in side bending. Continue here to soften your eyes. Noticing your final cycle of your breath here. And we're gently releasing the arms and returning the spine back to the center. Wonderful. So from here, I'd like you to bring your feet together, just like a butterfly pose. So for those of you who have a couple blanket cushions right next to you, please grab them. And so we're gonna roll the blanket or cushion underneath of your knees. And just finding that space here to prop yourself up. So as we bring the heels a bit further away, forward. Okay, just to make sure that you can see me again with your heels moving forward to a diamond shape. And then as you extend your knees to the side, make sure your knees are comfortable pointing outwardly. Good. Once you're here, grounding your sit bone, there's no gap between the earth and your seat. Now hands resting forward, either onto your heels or you like to extend it forward onto the floor. And I'll allow you just a moment here just to pause without having to move forward right away. Finding the pausing here to extend the knees to the side. Now drawing the shoulders away from the ears so we can breathe deeply. And this moment of pausing is the opportunity for you to check in with the age of the body, how far you can enter to the space for a longer period of time. Wonderful. And from here, if there's more space for you, we can extending the arms forward a bit more or drawing your elbows onto your heels, or perhaps this is too further for you. You can grab a bolster or a chair cushion on top of your knees, and then just place your elbows on top of the cushion under and supporting your chin with your palms. And as we draw forward, make sure that your hips, your sit bones still grounding and rooting down to the earth. If this forward fold position is not comfortable for you, you can simply back off and come up to your long spine again and just leave the butterfly legs as they are. And again, focusing into that 10 counts of the ocean breath. 4 counts of inhalation, pause for 1 count, 4 count of exhalation, and again pause for 1 count. We'll do this cycle here for 2 more cycles, focusing on the breath. Again, if there's no more extension for you to go further forward, if that's comfortable for you, you can simply drop your chin, drop your shoulders away from the ears, and just hang here. Just hang here to pay attention. So today we're focusing on that rhythm breath, the rhythm formulas breath that involve our breathing at about 6 breaths per minute. And that is designed to induce the favorable psychological and possibly the physiological effect. As in the study, we can really turn off the busy mind and to balance the calming mind. So when we say into yin yoga postures, we start the ocean breath as a focus, as a tool, is through the study that with this breathing and yin practice, they are super and great for our heart and lungs. So noticing your breath here starting to slow down a bit more, a bit deeper, a bit more even. And we'll gently to releasing your final breath here, Walking your hands away back to the center, remove your bolster if you have one. Good, as we return to your long spine, give yourself a minute. Place your palms behind your hip, bend the knees. And allow you here just to shake off side to side to release that stress onto the hip flexor. Wonderful. And from here, I'd like you to come to a space, to our back bending practice. So for those of you who have a wall in the back, now it's time to slowly merge into the wall. Otherwise, you don't need a wall if you don't have, you are not close to the wall space. So we're going to working on this posture is onto your lumbar area. So you're welcome to place a blanket just right in the middle of your space to cover your tummy. And we are going to lay down onto your tummy with the blanket. Okay, once you're lying down here, now if you have a wall, place your leg on top of the wall and just about shoulder width apart. Okay, now if you have another blanket or cushion, you're welcome to pop one under your elbows to give you a little bit of a length and space. And again, just checking in if the tummy is comfortable with the blankets under, if the legs are comfortable behind you against the wall or not. If you don't have wall around you, just place your feet down, lengthening, that's absolutely fine. So we'll place your elbows about shoulder width apart. Good, from here, take your option with you. Either you like to place your beautiful face on top of your palms to give you a little bit of space. So it's not stressing too much on the lumbar if your chin is not pulling forward. Pause again, and a couple options here for you. If you like to put your hands onto the elbows and move your elbows forward a little bit more, you can also hang here, extending the back of your neck. Or if you have more space, you like to drop your forehead down. Absolutely fine as well. Now, for those of you who would like to feel a bit more stimulation, come up to your elbows. And just like a sail pose, make sure your elbows are under the shoulders, shoulder width apart. As you come up here higher, you should feel a little bit more. If you like to stretch your throat, it's beautiful to stimulate and turn on that thyroid gland if you tail up a little bit more. Otherwise, just keep your chin forward, extending the back of the neck. And now again, as your eyes started to shut down and close gently, we're returning to the 10 seconds, 10 counts of Ujjayi breath, ocean breath. Inhalation for 4, pause for 1, exhalation for 4, pause for 1 count. We're continuing here, repeating for 3 more cycles. And just allowing that pausing in between your inhalation and exhalation to be attentive, to be noticed. Why is it out there when you're pausing? How do you feel when there's a retention for even just 1 second? Allow 1 more full cycle of your Ujjayi breath here to bring into this Yin posture, to stimulate the lumbar region, the lower back region, stimulate the thyroid gland if you have your chin tail up to the ceiling. Noticing your navel center slightly stretch, organs concentrated, shoulder drawing away to release, to relax. It's time to exiting the final breath here if you haven't already. And we'll gently to release the posture here by bringing your chin forward, sliding your arms away. And then bring your hands onto your elbows and release your face to one side. Just extending your spine forward for a moment. Drop your chest down and relax your chin. Return your chin to the other side just to balance onto the other side of your brain. Noticing a sense of dropping as your chest connecting with the earth again. Wonderful. As you return again, bring your chin back to the center. Slowly walking your palms to support ourselves to come back up. Whatever way that takes you to rise. Okay, so either you like to come up here, sliding your knees gently one at a time, up to you. As you come up here, allow you to right away finding your child's pose. So for child's pose today, either open your knees to a wide angle child's pose or drawing your knees together and start to sliding your hands away. Extending the chest away, chin down or forehead down. Just a moment here, pausing, returning to your natural breath for a moment. Natural breath. Simply observing that rising and falling breath. Wonderful. And we're gently rising back up from child's pose, walking your palms back. So for this position here, we're going to practice frog position. Allow you to bring your knees wider, as wide as it's comfortable. Maybe bring your heels wider as well. And then we're going to slide in forward just like a child's pose. As you drop your chest forward, open your arms, shoulder width apart. And see if you can bring your heels with you. Just rest behind the knees. As you rest here, see if you can slide forward to the space of your chest to drop. Your hips up high in the air. Drop your chin or drop your forehead. If flowing down is not comfortable for your face, you can turn to one side. And checking in here, we have a few options for you in frog position. First option, stay here. Second option, you can bring your heels together to release that straining sensation on your knees. Now, another option here is you can open your arms wider. The wider that they are, the comfortable of your shoulders will be. For those of you who like a bit tense, opening, bring your hands, either clasp your hands together or shoulder width apart. Okay, so again, we're going to adjust again to slide forward if there's more space for your chest to drop. Frog position here is a beautiful position to be calming our busy mind. And it's really beautiful for the extension of the spine as well, to restore that cramps that we may have in our digestive system, our stomach, or in our women ovaries. Sometimes different days of different time of the day you might come across to the cramps or indigestion. Then frog's positions are beautiful pose. It's a beautiful pose to practice upon. Okay, wherever you are, I'd like you to stay a few moments here. Make sure your neck is comfortable. Either turn your chin down, forehead down, or turn your face to one side. Noticing if your arms are comfortable. Either bring them closer to find a bit more extensive stretch, or opening your arms wider if you like to release a bit more. Chest drawing down to the earth. Noticing your heels can be closed or open behind the knees. Simply resting here into your natural breath here, rising and falling, or you can continue in here to practice your Ujjayi breath, the breath that flows coming, that feels like the ocean, like a tide, coming in, going out, coming in, going out. Take one final breath here wherever you are. Either you're practicing the natural breath or ujjayi breath. Finding the final release as you exhale. Now we're going to walk your palms back near your chest so we can gently press the palms down, returning into our long spine, knees joined together. Wonderful. As we come back to our seat, just finding hero pose for a second. So bring the knees together, sit under onto your heels if it's comfortable. Otherwise, you can place a cushion to sit under. And just allow your palms here to turn up again. Wonderful. Close down the eyes. We'll start stimulating into the root of our seat. And bringing a sense of calmness into your breath. Turn on and activating the parasympathetic system, the rest and digest system. While the breath is calm, the mind is calm and still. The body is firm and supportive. Wonderful. And keep the spine here lengthening again as we start to lift up the heart center, shoulder drawing back and down, and ground and root to your seat. Good. Gently opening the eyes. Welcome back again. We're going to stretch the arms up high into laser fingers. So just adding this here as an intermission stretch. Beautiful. As you stretch up high, we're going to release your right hand to the side onto the floor. So we can gently bending over to find this nice side bending stretch. Just taking a couple breaths with you, slow and generous breath. Wonderful, and gently releasing the left arm, finding the floor as you start to swing back and down, right arm rise. Gently bending over to the left side. Again, just offering ourselves here a nice deep, generous breath. Wonderful, gently releasing, come back to the center. Okay, just allow the shoulder here to roll forward and back a couple moments to shake it off. Okay, for the next posture here, it's going to be a little bit stronger to create a little arch of the back. So we'll just see how we go where you are today. Now we're going to come to your knees where you are sitting right now. And if you have bolster at home like this shape, please just place in a long direction behind your seat. If you don't have bolster at home, maybe folding a couple blankets or chair cushions and just place it behind you. Now open the heels a bit wider. For some of you that feel really deep pull and stretch under your ankles are not very comfortable. Now it's your time to place a couple blankets under to protect your ankles. And as long as the surface on the floor that give you space, the more comfortable this posture will be for you. Okay, so just allow your sit bone to lower down, and then we're going to gently to lean back. So before we lean back, make sure that you have enough space. Like myself, I'm creating space for all of you to see where I am today. And then we're going to gently come in to lower down onto the bolster or chair cushion underneath. As you lower back down, be aware how far you can go today. There's no push, there's no force. Okay, once you're lying back down, just make sure that your hands resting in a position that feels open and comfortable. Either to the side, palm face up, or reaching the arms up high if you want more of a long spine stretch. So ideally, we're creating this gentle arch with the bolster underneath to really stretch the whole reproductive system, your digestive system, right in front of your body. But it's also very juicy for the joints on the heels, the knees, to have space to expand. So working in all the directions here. I know this is very, very challenging and perhaps quite daring pose for some of you. Please just be aware that you need support, you need any cushion underneath, please do so, and there's no force if it's not comfortable for you. If this is not comfortable for you, you have a couple options too. One is to release, one leg at a time, to extend one leg forward and keep one knee bended. Option two, of course, release two legs forward, and you can still lie down onto the bolster or cushion underneath to find a long back stretch. Arms can be still stretched forward or to the side. Beautiful. As we come to this position, we usually breathe deeper, deeper. So maybe practicing your Ujjayi breath and noticing three cycles of the ocean breath here to calm the mind, to calm the breath. Still remember the count. 4 counts of inhalation, pause for 1 second. 4 counts of exhalation as you exhale, and pause for 1 second. This is 1 for a cycle. And we'll allow 2 more cycles here to taking place in your own comfort, your own space. Again, there's no straining. Anytime if you need to let go of your legs, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, we'll be here for one more cycle. We'll keep bringing that deeper breath here from the lower belly outward towards the top of your crown and circulate the full channel of your meridian lines all the way up and down. Inhalation as you expand your breath to the top of your crown. Exhalation as you start to release again, all the way down. Wonderful. And release your final breath here through exhalation. And like a grandma or grandpa, as we started to rise, we might start making some sound to release the posture, and that's okay too. So I'd like to place your hands to the side to support you either on the floor. For some of you like to be on the heels, up to you. Now we're gently using the force of your belly, your core, to come up here and making the sound of any sound that you need to release. Beautiful. And taking a moment here, bringing and joining the knees together. Okay, so just make sure that space is clear, that you have the space you need. Join the knees together. Sit down for a moment. Good, and to release the posture from that nice arch of the back, we're going to bring your hands forward to a tabletop. So find your tabletop here, open the knees, shoulder width apart. And just like a cat and cow, as you inhale, extending the back, drop the heart down, lift your chin forward or up. Exhalation, gently to fold your chin in, round the back, tailbone folding in, and just pause here for 1 second. Wonderful. Taking a couple more rounds here in your cat stretch. Noticing how the connection that you have after this long pause stretch. Cat and cow is a beautiful, refreshing movement here that we're practicing to enter, to get to know ourselves better with the hips, with the spine, and also noticing that internal energy circulating. Breath in, breath out. Wherever you are, taking one more round, cat stretch. Beautiful. And from here, we're going to gently to come lower down onto your back. So finding your final Shavasana. For Shavasana today, either you like to, I would suggest you to bring your legs against the wall if you have the wall behind you. Otherwise, you can also lie down onto your back in whatever position for you. Okay, so for those of you who have the wall behind you, place a blanket under your sacral. It's really nice and supportive to have something underneath. And then we can start to gradually bringing your legs up against the wall. So there's no form. You can open wider or you can bring your shoulder width apart. Okay, so how far you like to go? Up to you. You can also even move your hip closer towards the wall and then bring your legs to almost 90 degrees. Wonderful. And for your hands to the side, up or onto, listening of your belly, your heart rate. Tuck your chin in. We can relax a little bit more onto the back of your spine, the neck. For those of you who like to simply drop your legs down onto a posture, you're welcome to do so as well. And just knowing that the final Shavasana here is the posture that you choose to relax, to rest. As today is a shoulder class, we're just going to be here for a couple minutes in your resting posture. If you're still having any breath, positioning in this stillness here, and allow the heavy breath here to release through maybe your mouth. And just allow these energetic toxins and block that need to be released to release in whatever way of your sigh or breath. If you haven't already, allow the eyes to soften. And now returning to your natural breath. There's no holding, no controlling. And simply just observe. Observing this moment, how your breath is returning to you, to your body. Perhaps slightly even more deeper. And dropping into your mental mind. Is the mind at this moment slightly more calmer? And now drop and release any knowledge or practices that we learned today. Just allow that intelligence of your mind to drop to the side. All you need right now is rest. The body is rested, the mind is rested. As today we're working on the combination of Ujjayi breath and the combination of the Yin, softer, more turning inward postures. They are beautiful tools to combine to really activate the PNS, as it refers to the parasympathetic nervous system. So parasympathetic nervous system, just got the words in my mouth, is more yin-like. And so it's a beautiful combination. It's a more yin-like, softer, and works in a complementary direction to the sympathetic system. Again, the PNS is a rest and digest response. And through the stimulation via the nerves running to our internal organs. And then through the release, our heart rate slows and blood pressure drops. So the blood flow that was diverted away from the intestines and reproductive system or organs, whose functions isn't essential in an emergency, returns. So when we can really relax, our tears can flow. Our short-term memories returns, and we can think clearly. So in all, when our sympathetic nervous system is turned off, then our PNS, our parasympathetic nervous system, would then turn on. And because of that, we can rebuild and recover our health in a bit more balanced way. And as we all know and aware of the key and the main activities that turn off the fight or flight system, which is sympathetic system, and activate the rest and digest system, which is parasympathetic system, are actually breathing and thinking. Breathing and thinking. Not just any old breath, but particularly a proper way yogi breath. As today we introduce Ujjayi breathing, the victorious breath or oceanic breath, which is a slow, deep, even breath. And this practice would help us to create a relaxed nervous system, yielding a calming mind, and in which this return will help our breath to become slower and more even. So for the thought, for the thinking, the second part, not just any old thinking mind. Our thoughts need to be calm. So any positive feedback between the breath and our thoughts can be established that increases the activeness of PNS and increases the production of our neurotransmitter, which is known as GABA, G-A-B-A. And for the next class, we'll be talking a little bit more of what is GABA. It's one of the most common neutral transmitter in our central nervous system that is named GABA. So again, today we're bringing the practice of Ujjayi breathing into the yin postures. And I simply just like you to invite yourself into that space to observe, to tune in, to drop in, and to be friendly to our busy mind as well. So we can be ready and prepare for the return, for the recovery to the society, to return to the world, to the civilization, when we can be in harmony with ourselves, physically, mentally, and psychologically. So today we're finishing from the final resting pose. And for those of you who like to return, take your time. And I'd like to thank you for your practice with me today. If there's any question, please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much, and I shall see you very soon. Take care.